Tomorrow is a new day, full of new opportunities. I will definitely wake up early, energize my body with some exercise, and enjoy a cup of coffee, savoring the morning aroma. Then, I'll have a healthy breakfast, filled with everything necessary for strength and energy for the day ahead. And I'll be maximally productive, utilizing every minute of the day to its fullest.
The morning, the next day. How hard it is to get out of bed, but I need to do it. How I don't feel like eating that oatmeal, but I have to eat it to keep my body in shape. How I don't feel like exercising, but I must do it to become stronger. And so, all day long, I must, I have to, I should. And here you are again, sitting on your phone, unable to make yourself do anything, thinking you lack motivation again. But what if I told you that a possible source of your procrastination is that you've always engaged in ineffective self-motivation? What if I told you that the problem isn't you, but how you're trying to motivate yourself? Motivation is a crucial factor that directs our actions. It's what urges us to act and move forward, seeking new opportunities, new perspectives. However, as you've probably noticed more than once, very often you force yourself to do something. You force yourself to get out of bed, force yourself to eat healthy food, force yourself to do physical exercises, and as a result, you kill any desire for beneficial actions. One of the founders of cognitive therapy, Albert Ellis, called this masturbation, a term Ellis used to describe the tendency of people to set strict, unrealistic demands for themselves, usually formulated through must, have to, ought to. According to him, this leads to emotional discomfort and can cause various psychological problems, including anxiety and depression. But the question remains, how can we motivate ourselves effectively and without coercion? How can we learn to motivate ourselves not through force, but through desire? How can we learn to love what we do, not do what we must? An alternative way to motivate ourselves is to use positive language that focuses on what we want, not on what we must do. For example, instead of, "I must get out of bed in the morning and go do useful things," you can say, "Although it's hard for me to get up right now, I will feel much better if I do it." It's important to remember that no one is going to take your bed away. You can always go back and lie down in it after you get up if you really want to rest more. But as practice shows, the hardest part is usually just getting started. And once you've started, it's unlikely you'll want to go back to bed. This approach will give you a sense of freedom, because if you replace have to with want to, you will no longer feel the pressure inside, and it's exactly this pressure that takes away most of your energy. Nobody likes being forced to do something. For example, when your partner or your family forces you with words like have to and must, thoughts of rejection and unwillingness to fulfill their request may run through your head. This feeling of resistance is natural and understandable, as it is rooted in the deep psychological and even physical laws of interaction. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It's important to learn how to transform external pressure into internal desire, to see beyond requests and demands to their true intentions, to support us and help us become better. By recognizing and accepting these intentions, we can reinterpret external musts and have-tos as our own aspirations for growth and development, turning them from a source of resistance into a source of inspiration. In conclusion, I'd like to offer you a couple of practical tips that I use to motivate myself without coercion. In the evening, I make a plan of action for the next day. On the left side, I write down what I want to do, and later the next day, on the right side, I note whether I managed to do these things. If I didn't manage to do something, I don't blame myself. I try to analyze what prevented me from doing it. Maybe I spent too much time on my phone and didn't complete the task as I wanted. You can experiment with this. You might rate yourself on how well you managed the beneficial tasks for the day. The most important thing is not to blame yourself for not completing a task perfectly, because blaming yourself will clearly reduce your willingness to try again. It's normal to make mistakes. It's normal to struggle. The key to motivation without coercion lies not in striving for perfection or in endlessly pressuring ourselves with must and have to, but in developing an understanding of our own needs and desires. Small but conscious steps towards rethinking our internal dialogue can have a profound and lasting impact on our well-being and productivity. Remember, every step towards self-development and self-motivation is already a success. Don't be afraid to experiment with different approaches to find what best suits you. It's important not just to achieve goals, but to find joy and satisfaction in the process of reaching them. Maintain a positive and open outlook on the possibilities for personal growth, and let each new day be an opportunity to become a better version of yourself, without losing inner peace and enjoyment of life. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your sticking with me to the end. Your opinion matters greatly to me. Please leave your comments about the video, and I would also be interested to know what topics you find interesting, so I could make my next video about them. Share how you improve your life and what helps you develop. I'd love to read about it. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.